early winter warm-up. Even Florida is facing a freezing forecast. Drama high atop Oregon's Mount Hood after a hiker falls into a glacier. We'll look back at a costly coastal storm that damaged Maine's coast.
Those dunes hadn't been there before this storm. There would have been hundreds of $millions worth of damage.
You'll see how contrails form in the sky,
creating visible ice crystal clouds similar to cirrus clouds.
a closer look at the winter sport where skiers and cowboys meet,
I'd say the last 5 years with social media and everything, the popularity has just really exploded.
and preparing your home for the possibility of wildfires.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm John Rogers. Now, some big weather changes are in store over the next 24 to 36 hours. After a fairly mild January, winter's wrath is returning to the east and to the south. An Arctic air mass will start descending into the northern plains tonight, as you can see here. Lows in Minnesota and Wisconsin will be at a bone-chilling single digits. As that cold air moves south and east, temperatures will start falling in more cities. And by tomorrow night, lows across much of the nation are below freezing. That includes northern and central Florida, where a freeze watch will be in effect. Areas in the northeast will also see snow. Now, as we mentioned, this cold blast comes following what's been a fairly mild first half of January. Parts of the plains, Midwest, South, and Northeast have all seen above average temperatures, and that includes Iowa, right smack dab in the middle of the nation. Meteorologist David Holtman explains what's behind this month's balmy break.
The mild New Year has not been record-breaking, but it's still close to topping those record books. We already started off with the 9th warmest start to the new year, with an average temperature near 40 degrees. This month has also seen the 9th warmest day in January, which was last Thursday at 57 degrees. So why have we been so warm? It all starts with the type of air above us. For the last 3 to 4 weeks, we were trapped under a large high pressure from the southwest, which prevented major snowstorms and cold air from entering our area. That melted the snow we got in December, meaning there's no more snow cover on the ground. That snow acts as a mirror to reflect the sunlight, preventing the solar radiation that would be absorbed by the Earth, which warms our planet to be deflected back into space, leaving us with cold temperatures. Now, conditions are changing so that high has retreated back to the west, allowing the cold air to enter back into Iowa. The Climate Prediction Outlook expects that cold air to sit around for the next few weeks, so this warm January looks to be coming to an end.
Oh, sorry about that, folks. Well, check this out. Mountain rescue crews helped 2 climbers over the weekend after one of them fell into the White River Glacier on the south side of Oregon's Mount Hood. The warmer temperatures and snowy conditions made it challenging for climbers, according to the Hood River County Sheriff's Office. People who are planning to climb mountains like Hood should go with a guide, use proper equipment, and don't be afraid to turn back when the conditions are difficult. Those warmer temperatures are causing different problems for Oregon ski resorts. Conditions are pretty slushy right now, but as Shelby Slaughter shows us, locals are hoping more snow starts to fall soon.
People wait all season for days like today. A clear sky and lots of snow up here on Mount Hood.
We got really lucky with last week's storm and we got quite a bit of snow, and that helped us fill in a lot of our, terrain.
Madeline Staub with Mount Hood Meadows had already hit the slopes on Monday before chatting with me. She says some people prefer this weather over whiteout conditions, but others tell me off camera the snow's been slushy and the winter sun isn't creating the best conditions.
I think there's kind of this thing where January, we call it Junuary sometimes, where we don't get a ton of snow. But yeah, then in February, March, we get a lot of snow.
And according to Staub, it's not unusual to have warmer temperatures up here on the mountain, but the hope is there's more snow coming to pack the mountain.
Is it just business as usual this season?
It has been, obviously it was a little bit slow of a start, but now we're very much in the thick of things, and this past weekend was quite busy up here, which was a ton of fun.
Well, 2 years this week, an ocean storm barreled into the coast of Maine. It hit at the exact wrong time, coinciding with some of the highest tides of the year. That combination damaged docks, dunes, homes, and businesses all along the coast. Max Williams reports.
From floating homes to wrecked docks and roads turned into beaches, Maine's coast took a beating in January of 2024.
It's getting there.
Kevin Johnson, the chair of the select board for Harpswell, says the town is focused on restoring their piers.
Everything's going up at least a foot, all the wharfs. It was a big deal when it went.
Johnson says Harpwell's only public wharf was one of many washed away by strong swells. Today, only parts of the structure remain standing.
I don't think a lot of people realized how many town people actually use that wharf.
The wharf was supposed to be well under construction by now, but finding funding was a challenge.
Any government, state government, federal government, town government, you know, everything works at a snail's pace.
Meantime, work is already underway to renourish Old Orchard Beach.
If those dunes hadn't been there before this storm, there would have been hundreds of $millions worth of damage.
Art Cleaves, director of the Emergency Management Agency for York County, says it took 2 years for FEMA to agree to send them funding to restore the OOB dunes, destroyed by flooding, but it's only enough to last for 5 years.
Desperately looking for funding to make it as solid as it was before this last storm.
They now have to find a way to keep the dune intact for the next 100 years.
Tuesday also marked 44 years since Air Florida Flight 90 crashed moments after taking off from Washington's National Airport. The plane struck a bridge before landing in the icy Potomac, killing 74 people on board and 4 more who were on that bridge. More than half a foot of snow fell in D.C. that day, which played a major role in the crash. Ice and snow accumulated on the wings and over critical engine probes during a long delay at the airport. De-icing took place before that delay. The crash led to new rules for de-icing as well as reforms in pilot training. Rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow. During the colder months, there's sometimes confusion about the types of winter precipitation we're talking about. Meteorologist Nick Russo explains.
When you have cold air at the surface near the ground and you have warm air riding over that cold air, you tend to get either freezing rain or sleet. So looking at this from the ground up into the atmosphere, and all of our weather happens in the troposphere, which is the lowest part of our atmosphere. Rain is when you have temperatures above 32, the entire column of that troposphere. Freezing rain is when you have a shallow layer of cold air right near the ground. Rain falls into that and freezes on contact with the ground. Sleet are those little pellets of ice that fall when you have a deeper layer of cold air, but some warm air right above that. So that rain freezes and it becomes an ice pellet before it hits the ground. Of course, snow is when you have 32 degrees or colder, the entire column of the atmosphere. We sometimes get confusion between hail and sleet this time of the year. Hail is not something that usually happens during the winter. Hail happens when you have a thunderstorm cloud and you have updrafts that lifts these particles of water up into the sky. It goes above the freezing level where it's below 32. And then you get these chunks of ice. That's hail that happens in thunderstorms during the summertime. And eventually when that pocket of ice or that piece of ice gets heavy enough, it will fall out of the sky and we get the hail here at the ground. But when you see little ice pellets in the winter, more times than not, that's sleet and not hail. Hail happens during the spring and summer when you have some stronger thunderstorms.
Really interesting. Well, thank you, Nick. Warding off wildfire flames at home starts before any sign of fire. And with wildfire season getting longer in many locations, it's important to stay prepared. In the Texas Panhandle, the local Red Cross is helping folks get their homes ready. Drew Powell reports.
This is all a free program. The Red Cross is going to come in and we're providing weather radios. We're providing free smoke detectors installed in people's homes and some evaluation of property. And in a couple of weeks, the Team Rubicon is going to come in and do the actual mitigation.
The American Red Cross of the Texas Panhandle chapter says the reason why this has come together is due to the current weather conditions.
There's not really any fire season anymore. It's 365 year-round.
We have not had any moisture recently, or at least any substantial amount of moisture recently. With our windy days and how dry we are, our vegetation, when the windier it is, the drier that vegetation gets.
Rubicon's going to come in the first week of February, and they'll have their sawyers to remove a lot of trees and things like that that are fire hazards. It's really important for the public to make sure that they are safeguarding their home.
Coming up on the National Weather Desk, we take a look at the history of a man-made marvel that helped transform New York into an economic powerhouse. And we'll help you better understand how contrails form. Stay with us.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with Look at the Northeast. We're tracking a lot of clouds in the Northeast today and some wet weather moving in. Any early morning sun should fade away. This is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Most towns will top out in the 40s. There's a round of wet weather moving into New York. Most of New England will get into some wet weather tonight with some drizzle and some fog. Now, colder air comes rushing in on Thursday. Notice some areas are in the 40s and some areas are in the teens. The colder temps will win out as we head into Friday with highs only in the 20s.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Bailey. Here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region, tracking a few showers throughout your morning, especially in the mountains, but that will change over to snow as a strong front moves by late into Wednesday night. But even a little bit of light snowfall possible across much of the Chesapeake region down towards Virginia, but it will be very light accumulations here, snow accumulations in the mountains. Much colder and windier for Thursday with highs in the 50s Wednesday afternoon. Get ready to see those highs drop like a rock. Teens and 20s for highs on Thursday afternoon.
Hi, meteorologist Jennifer Collins with a look at your southeast forecast. We're expecting a strong cold front boundary to cross the southeast heading through Wednesday and Thursday. This will usher in much colder conditions behind it, but the chance for showers for most of central and south Florida into Thursday morning before the drier air filters in through the afternoon. Forecast high temperatures on your Wednesday in the 50s across most of the southeast, with the 60s across the northern Gulf Coast and the mid to upper 60s and mid 70s for most of central and south Florida.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
To northern Michigan now, where it'll soon be Black Lake sturgeon season. Meteorologist Ethan Foreman has more on why this is a very unique experience for that region.
Michigan is a great place in terms of fishing, even in the wintertime.
Sturgeon are a threatened species in the state of Michigan, but the population in Black Lake is doing well enough that we allow a limited harvest season through the ice each year.
Neil Godby with the Michigan Department of Natural Resources says that these fish can last a really long time.
They can live for over 100 years and reach large sizes, 6 feet long or more. They're just an iconic species. They're called the dinosaur of fishes.
Godby says that the 2025 season went very fast, but it isn't always that way.
Last year it went about 17 minutes. It can really vary. A dozen or so years ago, it went 2.5 days. So it really depends on the clarity of the water, how well the fish are moving, and the number of anglers out there.
The event will be based on weather conditions, but with the colder start to winter and ice starting to form, Godby is hopeful for a good year.
Safety is the most important thing with good ice conditions. Water clarity is important for visibility through the ice so anglers can see the fish.
With the limited population, there's only a certain number of sturgeon that can be harvested each year.
The total season harvest quota this year is 6 sturgeon. So once 6 sturgeon have been harvested, the season closes.
Some huge fish there. Well, over to Montana, where in the Gallatin Valley, an up-and-coming winter sport is on its way for the first time. It's where skiing and cowboys meet. Gus Yeager gives us an inside look.
Ski joring is the intersection of Bozeman's 2 favorite things, skiing and cowboys. It's a competition where skiers travel down a timed course while being towed by a horse. The sport originated in Scandinavia. Josh Abbott, a competitive ski jorer and a Gallatin Ski Joring Invitational organizer, tells me ski jor racing started in the U.S. in Leadville, Colorado nearly 80 years ago.
It's just been growing ever since, especially the last I'd say the last 5 years with social media and everything, the popularity has just really exploded, all over the West.
Ski touring races are now coming to the Gallatin Valley.
The community's really jumped on board and helped any way they could. Just trying to create a fun, family-friendly event that Bozeman can look forward to year after year.
Montana has become a hub of ski touring in the western United States, with dozens of events taking place across the state every year, including the national finals, which have been hosted in Red Lodge for over 40 years. The Gallatin Ski Tour Invitational kicks off at the Gallatin County Fairgrounds this weekend and will continue January 24th and 25th. Meantime, organizers are working hard to ensure Bozeman's lack of snow won't hinder the Invitational.
Mother Nature is not being friendly for a ski touring race this year, but we have been making our own snow. Like I said, the fairgrounds is just behind us 100%, and has provided what we needed to get our man-made snow made.
Well, the cold winter months don't just lead to snow and ice. They also lead to more contrails. Meteorologist Teresa Carter explains how they form.
Contrails or condensation trails form when hot, humid air from jet engines mixes with the extremely cold, low-pressure air at high altitudes, causing water vapor to condense and freeze around soot particles, creating visible ice crystal clouds similar to cirrus clouds that can last for minutes or hours depending on atmospheric conditions. So why do some contrails last longer than others? The key factors are atmospheric temperature and moisture. Short-lived contrails disappear in seconds to minutes when the air is dry or low humidity. The appearance is brief white streaks that vanish as exhaust mixes with the atmosphere, while persistent ones last hours to days in high humidity and very cold temperatures. Non-spreading contrails are thin, long white lines that remain after the plane passes, or they could expand into widespread cirrus clouds, potentially lasting many hours or even days, moving with high altitude winds.
Certainly a lot of interest in contrails. Well, we want to test your weather wit, folks. So to do that, let's go take a look at an Instagram post from meteorologist Hannah Sheehy.
We all know winter nights can be very cold, but what makes the coldest winter night? I have two options for you. Pick which one you think is coldest. A cold front moves through the first night, leaving us with cloudy skies, windy conditions, and some light snow showers. The following night, night number 2, leaves us with clear skies, calm winds, and a fresh snow. If you picked night number 2, you would be correct, and here's why. Clear nights allow for radiation to escape from the ground and back up to space, but if you add clouds to the situation, they act as a blanket or insulator, keeping heat at the surface. But clear skies are just one part of this equation. If you want the very cold winter nights, you need calm winds, because that allows for cold air to stay near the surface and warm air to stay aloft and no mixing occurring. A fresh snowpack is also very beneficial because this allows for cooling to happen more rapidly at the surface. So there you have it. That's why night number 2 after the cold front passes is colder than the night it actually moves through.
Haha, I got it right. I'm a weather genius. Well, now a look at the history of a man-made marvel that helped some city populations blossom. Here's Caitlin Pearson.
Low bridge, everybody down. Low bridge forward, coming to a town. Those lyrics are from a famous folk song about none other than the Erie Canal. This waterway, when it opened in 1825, was an engineering marvel unrivaled in North America.
At the beginning of the 1800s, Governor of New York, DeWitt Clinton, envisioned a man-made river that would link the Atlantic Ocean in New York City to the Great Lakes.
The previous longest canal in America was around 30 or 40 miles. This was 363 miles long, 83 locks. Nothing like it had ever been accomplished in America before. To go from Buffalo to New York City, it would have taken about 1 month and cost around $100 a ton to transport things. After the canal opens, that same voyage is now 5 to 7 days and costs less than $10 a ton.
The canal also brought a flow of people and new ideas.
Prison reform, you have education reform. Some of the earliest labor unions form along the canal. But probably the most famous movements along the canal will be abolition and women's rights.
But progress for some can be harmful for others, specifically indigenous people.
The canal followed in the footsteps of land dispossession that had been happening for decades before the canal was built.
As the canal expanded, it became known as the mother of cities. Communities flourished along its route, including Syracuse and its salt industry.
Likewise, Buffalo grows to the 9th largest city in America at its height. Rochester, Utica, Schenectady, Albany, all of these cities grow along the banks of the canal.
While the canal would eventually fall to the faster and cheaper railroad, its impacts industrially, culturally, and as America's first major public works project are still felt today.
While tough to do during these winter months, there are plenty of opportunities across New York to experience the canal, including here at Camillus Landing. It's a way to experience the water in a whole new way. Reporting in Camillus, I'm Caitlin Pearson for Amazing America 250.
Very cool history there. Well, time now for a short break, but first we take in the lovely forest views over Finland.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buckmichael. A little colder out there for most of us today. We've got some snow showers and a rain-snow mix across the Ohio Valley as we continue into the day tomorrow. Got some lake effect snow showers and a few more snow showers closer to the Great Lakes. And same for your Friday. Got a little bit of light snow here and there. Staying pretty cold with most of us in the 20s or 30s for highs on Friday.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. Here's a look at your regional weather. Things are a little cool up in North Texas, sitting around 41. A little bit warmer back up in Oklahoma City. We're sitting at 54 down into Brownsville. A weak cold front will come through today. That will stir up the pollens right up here in south central Texas, and that could be an issue with mountain cedar. Otherwise, temperatures will be warming up under sunny skies. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia, and that's a look at your regional weather.
Well, hi there, and a good Wednesday morning to everybody. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Out west, it continues to run unusually dry and in some cases still unusually warm. Although finally cooling today in Seattle and Portland after hitting near record highs yesterday. Denver still back to nearly 60 yet again this afternoon. Phoenix at 80 and still also nearly 80 there close to Orange County. High pressure ruling things here, keeping any of that needed wet weather out of the way for now. And that's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
Well, it's been an eventful winter in parts of Wisconsin. Josh Cavender went over to the slopes to see how snowboarders are faring in the cold and snow.
I guess we've had a little bit more snow than in the last previous few years, and we're taking advantage of it.
Have there been days that have caught you off guard in terms of the cold, or is it?
No, due to the Fox 11 weather app, we stay ahead of the schedule here.
With the snow starting early this season, Nordic Mountain kicked things off with a bang.
We were off to a great start to the season. December came great. We had snow, we had cold weather, we had lots of snowmaking, got 100% open real fast, and then the customers have been coming out in big numbers.
But that didn't mean Mother Nature always cooperated.
Obviously, when we had the rainy day, business was down that day, and on the really cold day, business down. But anytime we're in the middle, then we're doing really good.
Those hitting the slopes agree.
I think when we get below zero, I'm not going to be out here. I'm going to be a fair weather snowboarder. Like, okay, it's 20 plus. Now today's a little chillier than I prefer, but my grandson's out here taking a snowboard lesson and the sun's out.
As the new year gets into gear, many folks agree. it's a good year to get out on the snow.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm John Rogers. Go out there and have a great day, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow.